building. Joining us now, Greg Batista. He is a structural building engineer. Greg, welcome to the program. I just have to start with this. How is it possible that engineers could warn parts of it could crumble, but people were still allowed to live there?
It all comes down to the laws that are in place. Now, building departments, depending on your jurisdiction, have a lot of say or don't have a lot of say into how they're going to manage these things, because you're always going to have these structural engineers, and I'm one of them, that can go to a place and say, look, there's a problem here. And it's up to the building department and the authority having jurisdiction to say, look, we need to get these people out of here, or no, they can stay. Sometimes it's a very complicated issue, because of course you have people that live in these buildings, but as these buildings keep failing, like what happened at Champlain Towers, people are starting to understand that it is indeed a very serious and life safety issue.
A serious life safety issue. I understand, as you point out, there is a process, there are bureaucracies, but when we see that dire warning, when we see these pictures, I mean, does that give you pause that in fact those details were known 4 days before and nothing did happen? Does that look serious enough to you to push something through?
Well, having inspected thousands of buildings in South Florida, you're always going to see telltale signs. Now, when I inspected the Surfside collapse before it collapsed at the Champlain Towers, I saw some telltale signs of there was cracks in certain places, but it was a far cry from what I would consider somebody having somebody to tell to the building, look, you need to get rid of all these people, because there's a lot of things that come into play. Now, as the pictures that I saw in the news, yes, there were some very serious issues of some of the main walls of the structures had some major cracks and deflections on it, something that would give you serious pause as a structural engineer. But then again, it all comes down to what the engineer says and how the people in charge of getting rid of these people are going to react to that. And hopefully, the tragedy like this, people will learn, as what happened in Florida. Now new laws have come into play that make it more difficult for people to kick the can down the road.
And Greg, I'm not sure if you have a monitor and you can see what we're placing, but guys in the control room, if we can specifically pull up the picture of the bricks that had crumbled behind the facade. Greg, if you can see this, can you explain to me how this would happen and what this does to the stability of the building?
As a structural engineer, you're basically we don't have X-ray vision, but a lot of times, if you have enough experience, and I have 30 years of experience doing this, you see certain telltale signs and red flags. And when you have certain items, such as what you're seeing on the screen, that helps to paint a picture. Sometimes the picture is painted where you have definite serious issues like the ones that we're looking at here. And sometimes you have, something that is not something that's serious. It all comes down to the experience of the engineer and those professionals taking a look at the building.
Greg Batista, thank you. We are expecting another update today from officials in Davenport, so we will wait to see what comes of that. But thank you, Greg. We appreciate the time today.
Thank you.